Welcome students to this last video to focus on assignments for COM4809. In this video, we're going to look at how we will put all of our cards on the table in this very last assignment. Now, I can hardly believe that the year has flown by so quickly. Let's remind ourselves where we are in the process and what we have to focus on now. In the first assignment, you said to us, "This is what I'm going to do with my research." You discussed what others found and how others went about researching the phenomenon that you are interested in. You told us how you are going to research what you said you will research in the first assignment. In this last assignment, you will tell us what you found, what your findings were, and very importantly, you will have to answer your research questions directly. Of course, there is a little behind-the-scenes work. Once your supervisor has approved your measuring instruments, your questionnaire and your interview schedule, you will have to conduct your research at the organization that you chose. Once done, you will have to process the data. And what this entails is reading in all of your questionnaire results into Moonstats and generating frequency tables, charts, and graphs of the statistical or qualitative data. You also have to transcribe, word for word verbatim, the interviews that you conducted. Now, this processing of results really does take up a whole lot of time, so please do not underestimate it. Talk to your supervisor about your time frame. Negotiate early if you will need an extension. Once you have completed the processing of your data, you are ready to interpret your results and present these in your report, which will be your assignment. Now, in order to do this, your last assignment must have 3 sections. Firstly, you should have a section wherein you merely present your findings. This is to say, you describe what you found in the data that you collected. Start off by telling your reader who your respondents were. Report on your demographics. This helps the reader formulate a picture of who we are talking about here, who took part in your study, and offered the findings that will be elaborated upon in this assignment. Next, you will move on to offer the quantitative data of your study in the form of tables, charts, and graphs for each and every item in your questionnaire. Now, as you are only presenting your findings, you will only make use of elementary descriptive statistics. Let's perhaps pause here for a second and have a quick look at descriptive statistics. Statistics allow for data, the raw material that you collected, to be transferred into information, the usable results for your investigation. In this, we can divide statistical analysis into 2 basic forms: descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Now, descriptive statistics are the basic presentation of findings, and inferential statistics takes those findings and interpret them further to make certain inferences from them. For this level of study, you need not make use of inferential statistics. Now, please do take note that you should not only have tables, charts, and graphics in your assignment under this section. You should also discuss these tables, graphs, and figures that you make use of. An academic rule of thumb is that you can never insert a table, graph, or figure without discussing it in text, in a narrative, in prose as well. Here is an example of having a narrative presentation of the results alongside your figures. Also, please remember that there are certain set ways in which a table, as opposed to a figure or a graph, is technically presented. For example, having a heading above it or below it. You have to make sure you do this correctly. It points to a level of academic maturity. In terms of this, the website that I've spoken about before, This is the one that we designed to help you to write with academic integrity. Now, it has a page over here with a video on it that shows you exactly how to label figures, tables, and graphs. Please have a look at this video before you start writing this part of your assignment. Okay, you will also present your qualitative findings as a narrative, that is to say, in prose. Your transcriptions should be included as an appendix, so in this section, you offer a sensible summary. Your discussion of the qualitative results can also have some quantitative results interspersed. It all depends on your line of argumentation and the layout of your assignment. Discuss this with your supervisor if you have any specific questions. Now, in the second part of your assignment, you will go a little further than the mere presentation of your results, and you will move on to interpret them. At this stage, you will, for example, look out for patterns that emerge from your data. Be sure not to fall into the trap of making inferences regarding relationships. Of course, you will be guided by your research problem in this section, and the interpretations that you make have to have a direct bearing on one or more of your sub-problems. You will also have to order this section according to a specific qualitative data analysis approach, and you should identify one before you even start on the assignment as a whole. You might have come across an approach you like in the literature review, but if you did not, research it outright right now. You might start by searching for authors like Miles and Herbermann, Marshall and Rosman, or Morse and Field, who all write on this topic as well. Lastly, be sure to make use of verbatim quotations from your interviews to inform the discussions on your qualitative aspects. Here is an example of a page of qualitative discussions that make use of verbatim quotations in the discussions themselves. You can see the quotations here in a smaller font size and indented. The third and last aspect of your assignment is your conclusion. Now, this is not an ordinary summary like you had in previous assignments. This is now a full-fledged conclusion for your entire research process and report. It is extremely important, so please take your time in doing it. Now, your conclusion should have 3 things in it. Firstly, you should answer to each one of your sub-problems directly. Take the data that you presented and now summarize it under the heading of each one of your sub-questions or problems, showing how your data answered to these problems directly. Secondly, your sub-problems, as I said in assignment 1, should all, when viewed collectively, that is to say together, answer your main research problem. Then, in the last part of your assignment 5, you need to then make recommendations for further study. You need to elaborate on the new research questions or avenues for exploration that opened up once the data was interpreted. You can have a look at how other studies do it. Most master studies and many articles do this in the final parts of it. All that is left for me to do now is to wish you all the best of luck. Please keep an eye on my UNISA for further developments and discussions on videos for the portfolio assignment or any other possible interactive classroom simulations.